If you just do it, it'll turn out okay. Hey, Eddie, our prison master, how you doing? Just showing up. Everyone's running late today, again. So today we're talking about Izuru Kamukura. Hey, prison master, what do you know about Izuru Kamukura?
Hey.
Hey, welcome. Almost didn't make it.
Yeah. Well, I have to mute myself because there's a bit of a ruckus going on right at the moment. Sorry.
Okay. Yay! Technical difficulties, always fun. All right. Well, as we're waiting on my chat people to talk about it. Hello, Prison Master. Are you listening? What's your opinion? What's your opinion on Izuru Kamakura? I get other things set up, and I wait for Vixen's domestic life to calm down a bit. I just gotta get this thing. Hi from you too. So, what is again? I ask you, what is your opinion on Izuru Kamakura? Him and the prison master, Eddie. What's your opinion? Gotta. Right, so, oh, there it is. All right. Come on, work with me. Where is? Come on, set up. This is talking to myself is not very fun. Oh, and Eddie, if you want to, if you watch this on Facebook, you want to thumb up the video on Facebook, do that.
Okay, I'm back.
Yay! Right. So let's think about. So have you written any? Since you're our fanfic expert here, have you written any fanfics on Izuru and Chisa?
Yeah. Let me pull that up. Cause like I'm at like over 200 travels, so I usually have to get a refresher every now and then. So let me check.
Right. All right. All right. So what do we know about the steering committee, the trustees that started this whole progress, and why did they do it?
Hold on, I'm still counting.
Okay.
10, 11.
Mm.
Oof. 13, 14, 15, 16,
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Uh, he seems very accurate on how he fights. I don't know what that means. But cool. I guess the Interstellar can't make it or something.
yeah.
And Jim is running short. Running short, running late.
Yeah, that's okay. Happens to all of us.
All right, so
Getting there.
all right, so this is why I wish I had another person here so we could fill in dead air while we're figuring out stuff. That's why I have at least 3 people because somebody could be talking, not just rambling like I am right now. It's like ramble. Mm. All right. Okay. So Eddie, like I said, you want to throw up the video over on Facebook and or YouTube, you can. So what's your opinion on Izuru Kamukura overall? Oh boy. Oh boy.
42. 42. That is the number of travels I have written that are kind of Izuru centered. I mean, some of them he's like a bit more of a cameo, but yeah, most
Okay.
of them are Kaminami.
Awesome. All right. So now for my original question. Why do you think the steering committee trustees were like, oh, like let's do this project? What's it all about?
Well, I think for a while now, Hope's Peak was interested in cultivating talent, to progress their society and make themselves feel good about themselves. So it's like, it makes sense. I mean, it is interesting how they segregate the talented and non-talented. So, bit little eugenic-y, if that's even a word. So it makes sense.
Yeah, but in the anime at least they really, and probably in DR too, they really did the segregation things up a bit. But like you guys are like kind of like the old from the '60s where the races were segregated. They're like, no, you're below us. You go over there in this little peasant area.
Unfortunately.
So, but yeah, so how come? Why do you think they had to? Think they had to erase Hajime's personality to create him, or was that a side consequence of the experiments?
No, I imagine it was necessary because it's like making a clean blank slate to fill in all that talent. Like, if you already have a whole bunch of bad experience with talent, then that'll get in the way of the new talent.
Hi, Holly.
Oh, hi, Holly.
Do you want to come? Do you want to join us on here, or you want to just be a viewer? Yeah. So, do you think the reason you think about his personality being erased, he would be just like so bored or everything still, or or that result of his personality being erased?
I mean, I think eventually he would get bored, because when you're perfect at everything is just boring. It's similar to how Junko thinks everything is boring because her ability is ultimate analytic, therefore she can predict everything.
Do you think that's where he got his abilities from Junko, and like abilities from her, or?
Rephrase the question.
Do you think he got his? He's also the ultimate. He's also the ultimate analytic. You think he got from her or somebody else?
Oh, he certainly got it.
So who do you think was more analytical, him or her?
Him.
Him, of course. See what other question I had. See. Okay. So what's your opinion over what's your opinion of Izuru overall?
I think he's an interesting character in that he's kind of like a walking god, He does have like a very mysterious atmosphere to him. Like, he has a potent feel to him.
Well, I think his eyes changed colors and his hair grew out.
Dramatic effect.
Was he like in that pod for so long or something that his hair grew out automatically, or he in there so long his hair just grew?
I don't know.
Neither do I. I was just wondering. It's like you see him like his hair is long. Like, so I'm not gonna bother cutting it until he.
He certainly looks cool with long hair. He pulls it off.
True. Stupid. Mute, please. Thank you. So, uh, what do you think? What do you think his best talent was?
Ultimate Edge?
Edge?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. Let's find the picture next. So, what do you? Oh, there it is. So, what do you think? I can't think of the words I'm trying to say.
It's okay. Take your time.
What do you think? Why do you think you pay attention to Junko in the first place?
Well, because, she was interesting in a smidgen of a way.
How do you explain? What do you mean?
I mean, she just came into his room out of nowhere.
True.
So that's a
true.
start, and she's all confident. She's very, very confident.
Yeah. Of course, he's like, they both try to attack him, and he both slapped them both away. He stomped Junko in this hand waved Mercurial in the corner.
Yep.
So but she got his attention. It's like you think he was really interested in this in despair at first, or is he just humoring her?
I think a part of him is just humoring, because what's he got to lose?
Yeah. I always wondered about him. Why do you think he just stayed in that room all the time, not just like did whatever he wanted to do? He's like just stayed there, like whatever. Because
he just had crippling boredom. Sometimes you become so bored you can't think of doing anything.
What do you think he would have been like if he had kept his Hajime personality at the beginning?
He would have been so ecstatic to show off his talents. He'd be so happy.
Be like, I see it now going there. Like, hey, I'm gonna challenge you to a game. His quote girlfriend, like, hey, I'm gonna challenge you to a game now.
Pretty much.
Oh. Do you think? Oh, that reminds me. In episode 9, do you think Chisa recognized him when she was down there in that room?
Oh, most certainly. That's why she mentions to Chiaki that, oh yeah, the long-haired boy released me. When clearly Izuru walked away. So clearly she had an inkling because, Chisa's really smart and intuitive like that. So she knows the best way to manipulate her prey.
So, let's see, what was the next one I had? Okay. During the tragedy event where those student council members were killing off each other, he was pretty much bored until the last guy actually managed to shoot him somehow.
Yeah.
Why do you think that surprised them, or they can take notice?
Because the guy's head was completely detached from his body and he still managed to shoot.
Yeah, that was weird. He's like, yeah, yeah. Too
Emotions
bad.
make you do things.
True. Uh, uh. So how come you? So why don't think? How come you stop Mukuro from poking Chisa's brain in? You think?
What?
How, so how can how, so how come you don't think he stopped Mukuro from poking out Chisa's brain?
He just didn't care. I know. It makes me sad.
I I've always wondered. You were fixed about it before. I always wondered if do you think Chisa you think Chisa the spare mom blamed Izuru for what happened to her?
Nah, she can't stay mad at her kids. She doesn't even blame Nagito for killing Chiaki in a way.
Yeah, it's funny. Uh, they, they speaking of shocking them, they've in episode 5 of this future arc, Makoto and them found Izuru in the Izuru in front of Chucky's memorial flowers or something.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so why do you right? So why do you think uh why do you think Chucky's interest Izuru?
I think because Hajime had such a deep, like, emotional connection with her, so that left a bit of emotional residue within him. And so the fact that he has emotions, although very slight, intrigues him.
Uh, so do you think part of him recognized her at first when they first met in the underground cavern? Or was it interesting that she might have known who he was?
Maybe, but probably not. It seems like only in only in like the absolute dire circumstances was he able to remember.
When she died?
Yeah, or like when he was watching her dying, he like during the maze, he remembered that strong hope.
Uh, so so he started carrying around her hairpin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is that when you think he decided to like what's the word? Try to find what was his more unpredictable hope or despair?
Yep.
That's what was his words to Junko? What was his words to Junko? Trying to remember. Uh, this might be a short episode. Uh, You want to bring up anything? Because
No, sorry.
this is why I wish we had some. This is why I wish we had some, like last time you made those charts. I wish I had some here. Now we can talk about stuff.
Yeah, well, because, like, I was hoping Interstellar Vagabond could come, because, it's because they write Izuru really well, and I figured it would be a nice welcome initiation, but I guess maybe they were just busy, so that's okay.
Yeah. All right, so what's there? Yeah, well, I guess this that's the kind of short episodes. I don't know what to talk about anymore about Izuru. I think we covered all the points. Maybe we should have waited for Jim Blydick to show up.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, God. Worst episode of season 8 yet.
It's okay. Happens to the best of us.
All right, let's get questions here. All right. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, they did mention how they did stick some rods into his brain, so he did get a slightly bit lobotomized, but not in the same way Chisa was.
Do you think if talk about teacher fast? You think if Chisa had been put in the Near World program, she could have been saved too, or was she too far gone?
I mean, maybe, because it seems like in Danganronpa universe, lobotomy isn't the same as it is in real world universe. Because when you are lobotomized in the real world, they are, like, severely damaging your brain, and your brain is a very delicate organism. So it's like there's, like, so many ways you can mess with the brain by breaking certain parts of the brain. You break certain emotions, certain functions, like, depending on where you stick those rods, you could lose your short-term memory, or you could lose your long-term memory. You could lose your ability to feel empathy. You could lose your ability to taste, maybe. Well, no, I don't know. I'm not a neurologist, but I just know the brain is a delicate system.
Oh yeah. Oh. Well, Jingo's boyfriend might have known.
Yeah, if he wasn't dead.
Oh. Huh. Okay. So why do you think Izuru put in the Junko virus into the Near World program?
I mean, what better way to challenge hope and despair?
True. Like, oh. So who do you think was more? Let's see. So, do you think is in the program Izuru could have stopped the Junko virus if he wanted to inside the program?
Definitely.
Oh. So, what do you think the difference is between Izuru before and after the Near World program? Is he the same person, or is he different now?
He's certainly different.
Yeah. Yeah, like what was he said? What was that he said that she said in front of her body? Do you remember?
He said he finally had like something to believe in, hold on to, and he was grateful for that.
Yeah, so it's like he's like I like this is not that I don't mind who I am now. like yeah, he may be bored of his powers, but at least he has friends to be bored with now.
Yeah.
Uh, so do you think? So you think? Did Chisa consider Hajime slash Izuru one of her kids? You think?
Oh, absolutely.
So so how you said you were at 40? You said you were at 46 Hajime slash
42.
42 Hajime slash Chisa fix. Which,
Yep. No, just for. Oh, no. I think. God, I might have to recount again. I don't know.
uh,
I've written like 200 and. Is it 14 or 12? I don't know. I've written so many travels.
yeah, I think you have so many on fanfiction.net and so many different ones, not different ones, but not the same number on archive. I think you have more.
Yeah, well, because like some of it is filled with like messages, author notes, and stuff like that. So I just decided to cut that stuff out.
All right, so let's talk about how Izuru acts with other people. Like you see, talk about how you how you see he interacted with Junko and Chalky guys. So you think he was divided between Junko and Chalky at first, or
Yeah, pulled in two different directions.
hence the thumbnail I made. Yeah. So what do you think attracted him to both people, both sides of Junkonami?
I think the fact that they each represent their philosophy. They are the embodiment of hope and despair, physical embodiments of those concepts. So seeing those two interact is interesting to him. Which, hey, I totally agree.
What does Kana think about Izuru?
Oh, my sweet, sweet little Kana. Yeah, well, because when Izuru appears, then Hajime disappears. So she's terrified of Izuru. She's worried that Izuru will take over Hajime's body, and then that'll be really bad because that's her dad. She doesn't want her dad to disappear. So she's very wary and afraid of Izuru. He's like the boogeyman to her.
So she doesn't think of Izuru as her father.
No, not at all. She is smart. She knows that there are distinct differences between the two. Honestly, I think she's more afraid of Izuru than she is of Nagito. With Nagito, she's a bit wary, but with Izuru, she will hide under the covers. She does not want to be around him. She's that terrified of him.
So she considers them different people then?
Yeah, exactly. Just how Chiaki would.
How's he feel about both? Touch on the subject. How's he feel about both of her moms?
he's certainly fascinated by Kana's existence, and that's part of why she's so creeped out by him, because he's always studying her, and she's like, mm. So, like, he wanted a clash between hope and despair, and Kana's it. She is the embodiment of both hope and despair mixing together, and since she's a child, she's got a long ways to go to figure out who she is as a person.
So, wait a minute, so do you think Izuru kind of do you think Izuru helped create Kana then?
I mean, like, no, he didn't help at all, but I mean, like, he didn't create her programming, but he did create the means by which she was born by introducing Junko's AI into the Neo World program, and that leading to the interaction with Chiaki's AI, and then the Neo World deleting itself, forcing the two AIs to clash without any outside help.
Yeah. Uh. So. So. So this kind of like both of her moms the same or differently?
It depends on the incarnation of it. In the main timeline, at least, Kana loves her mom, even though she's never met Chiaki before, but she hears all these great things from Hajime, and she wants to get to know her mom, but she can't. But then they keep the fact that Junko is also her mom from her for a very long time, until one day she finally gets to talk, and it just like shatters her little world, because not only is her other mom the bane of human life and existence, absolute despair and evil, her turns out her beloved papa isn't biologically related to her at all. So, it's like just a whole lot for her to take in. And so she has a lot of resentment in the main timeline towards Junko, and she just wants to be completely cut off and not associated with Junko or her legacy at all. And she does everything in her little power to prevent and fight and not become Junko's successor or whatever, like she suspects her aunts and uncles think she will be. She's like trying to prove she's not a monster.
So so all her aunts and uncles don't like her, or they do like her, like half of her.
I mean, they all love her, of course. Although Ryota is very, very afraid of her for obvious reasons.
Okay.
But in the back of their mind, there are moments where Kana will do something that reminds them of Junko and that terrifies them. And Kana's smart. She knows that while all of them love her, they're very suspicious of her at times. And so because of that, she doesn't love them as much as she would her papa, because her papa loves her unconditionally and never has those moments of fear.
Listen. You found out how he feels about both Hajime and Izuru. How does both Hajime and Izuru feel about Kana?
Well, like I said, Izuru is very fascinated by Kana's existence because, one, she's an AI, therefore she doesn't experience life as a normal human being would. And two, she is the physical combination of both hope and despair incarnate. So it is curious to try to predict what she will turn out to be, hope or despair. And the truth of the matter is more complicated than that, which is very fascinating. And then, because Hajime loved Chiaki so much, of course he's going to love Kana, and he just developed such a soft spot for her because she's just so loving towards him. And she loves her papa so much. Like, how can you not say no to that cute little face? And also, he's blinded by his memories of Chiaki, so he never sees that Junko side to Kana, even when she's like talking about how she likes dark fairy tales, fairy tales that end in a less than happy ending.
Uh, so so is so is Izuru slash Hatsumi ever gonna pull her out of the Neo World program and into a real body, or just keep her in the Neo World program?
Well, it's part of an agreement with Future Foundation that he can't because she's part Junko. So it would be illegal for him to do that because nobody trusts Kana in a physical human body, in a android body. So she has to remain stuck inside the program, which she creates a very strong firewall. So she's basically in a cage.
But really, could anyone stop him if he decided to say, screw it, I'm going to do it anyways?
Oh no, nobody could stop him. So that's why I have one AU, the Bloodstained Melody AU, where he goes full mad scientist and against everybody's wishes brings her into the real world in an android body. But then it turns out he was infected with a brain virus through Kana that Junko somehow left inside Kana's system. So when she interacts with Hajime's avatar, it affects his brain and creeps into his mind and deteriorates his senses, and like he just goes insane.
How you think Izuru feels about the rest of Chalky's class?
I think he could kind of care less. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, Hajime didn't know any of them, therefore it makes sense that Izuru wouldn't really care.
What about after the Dear World program?
After that, he learns to respect them a bit more. He learns to stop being such a jerk.
Let's see if she's available yet.
Yeah. I was really hoping Interstellar could come, but I guess they got held up with other plans.
Yeah, some things that happen sometimes, even at the best of
Yeah.
abilities.
Well, I was thinking, so maybe, because we seem to go over all the talking points about Izuru, and so I was really hoping Interstellar could come, because they write Izuru so well. So maybe if they're not coming, then maybe we could do like a restart once Jimbalea is done with all of their stuff. Because I do have my Kana slideshow set and ready to go.
Okay.
I don't know what you're thinking. I mean, I know you like to make thumbnails and stuff for that, but since it is Saturday, and I'm sure Jimbalea would love to talk, I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know about restarting it. We can just continue on. I can just rename. I can remake the thumbnail later on. Add comment into it and stuff.
Yeah, it could be like when Nico B played Hate to Fool Boyfriend and got bored. So he just played Night in the Woods.
So, speaking of Kana, how does Kana feel about each of the? Does Kana have different opinions on each of her aunts and uncles?
Yeah, she does have a list of who her favorites are.
To her, how does she feel about each one?
I don't know. That's part of my slideshow presentation, so I don't want to give too much away because I know Jimbalea loves to hear me talk about Kana all the time.
Oh, sneak peek real fast about how does she feel about her uncle Teru?
One of the least favorites. I mean, most people like Teru because he makes food, but Kana doesn't really eat much, so it's kind of, just doesn't work out for her. So she's like, "What are you offering?"
At least in the virtual world, if they ever make her a real flesh and blood body, she might eat.
Yeah, that's not possible for her.
I
One,
don't.
because of legality, and two, just they are not going to do that. They're not going to find a nice, fresh human body to put her into. It just isn't going to work like that.
I don't know. Izuru has. Izuru, I think Izuru could do it if you want to.
Yeah, but Hajime's not going to be like that. He's like, no, don't you dare do that to my daughter.
So like, I don't know. I don't know. I think in a world, some kind of world, a real kind of could exist. They they splice together Junko and Chaki's DNA and add Hajime Izuru's DNA in there, and we got Kana.
That's just not how it works. Because
Actually,
as much as I love Kana, she is not at all, never in any of the AUs is she biologically related to Hajime. Because, stepdads are awesome. Single stepdads doing
yeah.
their best.
So do you think would Teruto ever hit on Kana?
God, no. No. If he tried, he would be dead. Hajime would have none of that. Also, Teruto is horny, but he's not that horny. He has standards.
Oh, does Nekomaru ever train Kana?
You know it. He's an absolute teddy bear. He's like super fantastic with kids. You should read, if you read Jimbalea's fanfic, like he's so good with kids in that one.
I have read that one. That's pretty good. God. So how does Junko feel about Kana?
Oh, she absolutely adores her daughter.
But would she kill Kana if she could?
No.
I don't know. Why not? Why do you think Junko would kill Kana?
Well, for one, Kana is Junko's child. Her heir, her successor. So it just wouldn't work out for Junko if she killed her heir.
True, but I don't know. Killing her own child might cause her despair.
Nah. She just can't bring herself to do it. She'll manipulate the heck out of her own daughter, use her as a living weapon, and stuff like that, but she won't personally kill her daughter. Though she will probably put her daughter in life-threatening situations. Like in Despair Automata.
What does Kana think about her Aunt Mukuro?
She likes Mukuro. She thinks Mukuro is really cool because, kind of likes blood and human organs and stuff like that. And, Mukuro is so edgy and dark, and she knows all these, things about anatomy and killing people. Kana would never kill anybody in, the main timeline. But she is really interested in Mukuro's skills. Plus, she thinks Mukuro is really cute, like a big old wolf. And of course, Mukuro cannot help herself. She loves her niece so much. She would teach her niece how to kill and like how to defend herself and be a little soldier. She would just love her little niece so much. Spoiler rotten.
Uh, what does Kana get from Chucky?
Well, Kana's really nice for starters. Aesthetics wise, yeah, because I know she gets her navy blue jacket and skirt from Chiaki. She's very empathetic. That's definitely something she got from her mommy. She's very sweet. She doesn't like games. She doesn't really like to play video games, but she likes to make games. She'd rather come up and create games than play them herself.
Oh.
Awesome. We're talking about one of your favorite characters.
So if Izuru and Kana were ever forced to interact, what do you think would happen?
Well, for one, Izuru would study Kana, and she would be really creeped out by that. She would just like back up against the wall. Like she does not want to be around Izuru at all. Like compared to Nagito, sometimes she'll just like hide from Nagito or like back away. But if it's Izuru, she will run. She is terrified of Izuru.
So that include the what was his name? What was his name in the Nagato program that Izuru to her?
Ultra World Destroyer.
Destroyer.
Yeah. She'd be like, "You're not my dad! You're not my dad!" Kids are very smart, and Kana is no exception to that.
So does she consider Chucky AI her mom or regular Chucky or both?
Chiaki AI is her mom. Although it is rather confusing when she does hear about human Chiaki. But, if she can distinguish between Hajime and Izuru, she can certainly distinguish between human Chiaki and AI Chiaki. Although in the Bloodstained Melody AU, she does get the two confused because Hajime makes it sound like they're the same person. And Chisa does the same thing. So, like, she's very confused. But she just goes with it. Because, she's a child. She can believe a lot of things.
In any of your universes, does Kana ever interact with both Despair Mom and Hope Mom?
Kind of, yeah. In Despair Automata, she does. Like, because in Despair Automata, she was raised by Junko, but then Junko disappeared one day. Sorry about that. Junko disappeared one day, leaving her all alone, and then she finds her other mom again, but this mom has no feelings of fondness towards her daughter. She's like, "What's going on? Did they like manipulate you? Did Hope mess with you like my mama said?" So like she's very confused. And she just wants to be loved by her moms. That's all she wants in this world. She doesn't care about anything else. Because, I mean, honestly, All children just want to be loved.
Yeah, that's true. Get my email up here fast.
Yeah, I sent you the slideshow.
Uh, oh, there it goes. So then, so Conan probably doesn't like the people that create Izuru. Then the trustees.
Yeah, probably. I mean, she has nobody really talks about them, so she doesn't really know them too well. Plus, when you're a kid, you simplify things. So, like, you find one person to blame rather than a complex network of people to blame.
Hmm. Right. So. Hmm. Kana. Loading. So, mm, speaking of Kana's mom, AI Chaki, I think we talked about it on the other podcast, but what do you think about the house she was created?
Oh, I like it. I think it's really cute that everybody wanted to see Chiaki again. Not just Hajime, but everybody. So that's the form she took to make them most comfortable. Hold on a sec.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Cool.
Hold on again.
Yeah, just almost going over your slides. Nice.
Yeah, I do love making me some presentations.
Yeah. One of these days, I really want to do an episode on both Chalkies too.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Uh, so the Chalky that appeared in the Hope arc, that was AI Chalky's ghost, right?
Yes. Oh shoot, I forgot to add the other thing.
You guys an updated slide now?
Uh, wait, doesn't it update automatically
Oh,
since I'm
maybe it does.
sharing it?
Maybe it does. I'm not sure. Probably does. For another. Da, 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 da. So, so what made so what you're still here? What made you create Kana?
There was a playlist of songs by Porter Robinson. You know, the guy who made the anime with the girl in the virtual reality
I think
shelter.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so like I just kept listening to it because that's my playlist I listen to when I'm depressed. And so there were just a couple of songs that, because they were techno, they made me think about AI Chiaki. And then I wrote this one drabble called Echo, where Junko and AI Chiaki fight each other in the remnants of the Neo World program. And so initially the original ending was that they were both deleted, thankfully, by Hajime before they could fuse. But then I thought, what would happen if they fused? Like, what kind of life would they create?
How old is Kana? I mean, technically a few days, weeks old, but how old does her appearance take?
I mean, so her youngest form is like 8 to 10 years old. But then in Despair Automata, she appears to be 14 years old. And then in the main timeline, after a certain period of time, she looks to be more in her 20s, because her appearance is based on what her parents decide, and then in the main timeline, what she decides. So, like, she can't physically age like a human can. So if she wants to look older, she has to adjust herself.
Oh. So she could be the same age as her father, if you wanted to be?
Not mentally. Like,
Oh.
she still is growing a lot.
Oh.
She's still very young. Like, AI maturity. Hey, Chimbalea!
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Okay,
It's okay. Better late than never.
Okay, before we get to Kana real fast,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the questions I asked her real fast in the thing. So, what do you think the trustees when they created an Israel mutant?
Wait, what? What do you think they what?
Why do you think the trustees steering committee wanted to create an Israel mutant? The
So
Israel.
they could study talent even more. That's what I thought.
Okay, I don't know if you have a different opinion or not. Why that was created? Why do you think Junko attracted his attention?
Well, because Izuru lives in this world inside his head that everything is boring because he knows everything. So everything is predictable and safe. So when Junko comes up with her little spiel, we're moving on to Kana.
Eventually,
well, just because Interstellar Vagabond isn't here, if that's okay with you, if you're busy, we can just stick with Izuru.
No, I'd actually rather talk about Kana. Kana interests me more, to be honest.
And I just want to do this really fast. So go on. Junko attracts his why?
Because her way of thinking was not predictable. So that was basically the main factor of what attracted Izuru to her.
Okay, why do you think Chiaki attracted his attention afterwards then?
Because he remembered Chiaki. Somewhere in the back of his mind, probably.
Yeah.
Not really that's Chiaki, more like, oh, I think I know this person.
We have a comment.
Aw, Holly Deluxe's cat is so cute.
Hey, Holly.
So,
it's like White Storm from Warrior Cats.
So do you think he's remembered her? You think her actions intrigued him at all, or what?
Chiaki, I basically just think that it was because I don't think someone like Chiaki could really, if he didn't know her before, could really interest him because she's so safe compared to Junko. But she would be labeled as a boring person. But since that he knew her before and had such a strong connection with her, that triggered something in him. That's what I think.
And that's why Izuru created around her hairpin after she died.
Well, yeah, as a way of like trying to figure out who he was. That's how I thought about it.
All right. Cool. All right. So let's get to the thing. All right.
Yay! My dear, sweet fanfiction daughter. I love her so much. Kana, my daughter of hope and despair. I am not going to try to think of what her last name would be, because it depends on the universe.
Junko Nami?
Or Kana. Kana Hinata?
Yeah, in the main timeline, she would go by Kana Hinata. Oh, that's so cute. I love her so much. Next slide.
Okay, yeah? talk about these pictures first of all. These pictures.
Oh, yeah. I was listening to the song from the show Ruby called Smile. And so it's like talking about show them how you smile. It's only for a while. Take what you need. Leave them to bleed. Let them know bitterness while your revenge is sweet. Like, I don't know. Basically the song is about how this person is something different from what normal people are. So they have to fake a smile and look normal, but deep down there's something different. So it just reminded me of Chiaki, like the tonal shift, because like the beginning of the song is very sweet with a female and a male singer singing together like two parents reassuring their child.
So that's what the first picture is, reassuring.
Yeah.
Does she have
And
an
then
eye?
the next, yeah.
Does she have an eye there?
No, that's her tear.
Okay, I thought almost like her eye was missing or something.
No, she's just closing her eye.
Okay. And that's her other mom's interaction with her.
Yeah. Part 1, Origins. So I mentioned earlier, but basically the first like inkling of what would become Kana came when I wrote the Drabble Echo. In it, Junko and Chiaki's AIs are fusing with one another, and it's a very morbid and scary process because by merging with each other, they experience each other's memories, their feelings, and stuff like that. And so they're both trying to fight it and trying to force the other one down. So in the process, they're damaging each other.
Why does this remind me of? Why is it almost like Koichi for a second?
It's the checkers and the smile. But the quote is, "They never lost blood, for they never had any to begin with. Rather, they lost something far worse. Data containing logic, emotions, and memory all broke apart. They temporarily drifted in the void before rejoining the body and further conjoined the two entities." That's just a little quote from the Echo Drabble, inspired by the Vocaloid song Echo.
So that's up here. That's chalky.
It's dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so then, as I was thinking about that, because the original ending of Echo is they both get deleted before they can completely fuse. But then I was like, what would happen if they fused and created something new? And so for a while, I had been listening to this playlist from Porter Robinson. He does techno. And
yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's this one song called Sad Machine. And so these are the lyrics from it. And it made me think about this little child who's like so confused and lost in this Neo World program, who then finds somebody to hold on to. You know, sort of like, and so it was like a song that represents Hajime and Kana's relationship, being that Kana depends greatly on Hajime to figure out who she is and like what is life and all that. And there's just a tiny part of her who can feel Chiaki and Junko's influence and is like so confused. She just depends on him so much. My sweet little Kana. I love her so much. And so then there were a couple of other fictional influences. So, for example, Porter Robinson created a music video with A1 Pictures called Shelter, wherein a young girl is living inside a simulation all by herself, and she has all this power to create worlds inside the program. But then one day she remembers that she had a father that she lost. And so, like, seeing the father and daughter interact, and also just the song is such a beautiful song, made me think about how that could be Kana. So, like, in one of Kana's debut drabbles, near the end, Hajime, because he can't give her the real world because she's trapped inside the program forever because she's part Junko and nobody would ever allow her to enter the physical world, he gives her the ability to create her own world using a tablet since she's so good at drawing. And then also, if you guys have ever watched Pokemon, the third movie with Entei, there's this little girl called
Yeah.
Molly.
Yeah.
And so in it, she loses her papa. So that's why Kana calls Hajime Papa, is a reference to Molly from the third Pokemon movie.
Oh, that reminds me about that. Is Kana ever going to make an appearance in your Pokemon drabble?
I wanted to. I really wanted to. I wanted to, like, make it so she's a little Pichu that Junko and Chiaki adopt, but I just don't have room for it. And it sucks because I want to have Kana Pichu because she would be so adorable. I love Kana so much.
Maybe an alternate reality.
Yeah, maybe.
In the spin-off AU.
Yeah. And so, like, you see down there in the lower left corner, that would be her Pokemon team. Because Pachirisu's pink, shiny version, very energetic, just like her. Absol's a loner and misunderstood, just like her. Mimikyu is cute, but also has inner darkness, like her. Zorua is mischievous, also a fox Pokemon, and Kana's favorite animal is foxes, of course. And I chose Espeon because Junko would have a Sylveon. Meanwhile, Chiaki would have, aw, thank you, Holly. And so Junko would have a Sylveon and Chiaki would have an Umbreon. So it just makes sense that Kana would have an Espeon. And then the Zweilies was definitely her kind of Pokemon because it's two things in one. And then, yeah, I just love my sweet little Kana so much. She loves Pokemon. It is just perfect for her because it's both cute and at times creepy, which is perfect for her. And then while I was working on ideas for Despair Automata, I stumbled upon Fate Apocrypha, wherein one of the characters is King Arthur's son, Mordred. And so I thought, oh, I was watching it and I was like, oh, yeah, this could be Kana if she was a teenager, you know? Because, you know, Kana has serious mom issues and dad issues. So, like, the teenage angst that Kana has in Despair Automata was inspired by Mordred from Fate Apocrypha.
May I ask, what's the thing on top with the anime girl floating?
Oh, that's this short called Shelter. You can find it on YouTube. It's an animated music video.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a really good song. It's the same guy who I mentioned earlier who created Sad Song. So it's like a techno song.
Porter Robinson. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you can kind of see a bit of the resemblance to Kana.
Yeah.
This sad little girl in a simulated world.
Yeah, I think I brought this up before. But now, since they both the moms have the same voice actors and stuff, something that I like to compare Kana to Kaguri.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. because like I watched that. I watched the Steins Gate Zero a year after not a year, a couple months after finishing Despair Automata, and I was like, holy crap, this is just like Kana is with Chiaki. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. So
If
yeah,
if anyone hurts her mom, she'd go crazy on her.
oh, she would kill you in a heartbeat. Nobody messes with her parents. And so another huge influence is I have these two tigers that I created called the Tiger of Hope and the Tiger of Despair. This was the Tiger of Despair came first when I was in my depression because I just kept imagining. Oh yeah, but it's okay. I'm way past it. But like I just kept imagining this tiger was watching, stalking me and trying to get the last bit of hope inside me. And so I just imagined this black tiger with crimson stripes that just wants to devour hope whole. But then after watching Danganronpa, I was like, I need to create a counterbalance to that. So I created the Tiger of Hope that wants to eat despair whole. So they're kind of like in this yin and yang cycle between each other. And so I did have an idea for original story where the two tigers are personified as two women. And then I thought, oh, what would their little cub look like? And I'm like, oh, that would be just like Kana. So I just drew this little picture. They're all the tiger moms with their little tiger cub.
And what's the first picture then? Same thing?
Yeah, so Chiaki is dressed as the Tiger of Hope. Junko is dressed as the Tiger of Despair. And then Kana is dressed as their cub. In a perfect world, hope and despair would coexist. Part 2, Kana's psychology.
So in this, talk about this picture.
Wow, I like how you did the kind of stained glass.
Yeah, because it's like shattered glass. I was inspired by the song called Losing My Mind. So it's like,
yeah,
like
by
I'm losing my mind, baby, dreaming all the time, baby. Feels like they're watching me, people watching me.
It's a good song.
Yeah. So the eyes below are all her aunts and uncles watching her for a mistake, a flaw that she's going to turn out to be like Junko, and she's so terrified of that. This girl goes through a lot.
Poor Kana.
I know. So psychology. So interesting thing about Kana is that she's a sweet girl, but she also has morbid curiosity thanks to Junko. So like she really likes blood and anatomy. She loves horror and suspense. She really loves creepy things. Like she loves insects and animals that are considered creepy. She loves animals because like animals can be cute, but then they can also be dangerous. And Grimm's fairy tales are her absolute favorites. Not the bleached fairy tales that Disney would pump out. And she likes the originals, like Cinderella's stepsisters cutting off their toes so that they can fit in the shoe.
Oh, yeah.
One of her favorite stories is Little Red Riding Hood.
With the wolf, yeah.
Yeah, she loves wolves. But not as much as she loves foxes. Foxes are her absolute favorite. And then this picture was inspired by a song, like a original song. I think it was like Faulty Feline Philosophy. So it's like a song about a girl who just puts herself in danger all the time.
So that's her. That's where Junko's like coming out.
Yeah. Junko comes out through her morbid curiosity. Have you guys kept up with Bloodstained Melody?
I'm a little behind.
Bloodstained Melody.
It's part of it's a Drabble series. It's in my Drabbles. It's okay if you haven't.
I'm probably behind on that one.
Yeah, it's okay. But
So-
like in that one, she goes after Future Foundation. So they're locked inside the Future Foundation building with her, and she's killing them off one by one. And so in that, after she kills somebody, she looks at the blood and she just thinks it's so pretty.
So what's this picture?
I mentioned before how it is a reference to a song called Faulty Feline Philosophy.
Okay.
So it's like she's just exploring because, since she's an AI, she can't physically feel pain. So she gets very curious about the human experience.
She can't physically feel pain, but because she can her AI abilities feel? Can the AI feel pain now?
No.
I thought that.
Hajime wouldn't allow it.
Ooh, I like that picture.
Oh, thank you.
What is all the blood and the spears and all that stuff?
Well, so the song, it's been a while since I've listened to it, but basically it's like a song about a girl who believes she has 9 lives. So she gets creative.
What song is this? What?
It's like, they say the cat was killed by his desire to know more. I wish to inquire. Luckily, this curious delinquent had a few more lives up her sleeve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a very obscure song because it's like a fan-made Vocaloid song. But it's really good. I like it. Plus, the girl in it kind of looks like Kana.
Oh.
So, the thing about Kana is that she has immense power. Because, one, she's an AI, not subject to the laws of human mortality.
Is that a Frozen reference I see?
Yes, it is. Because just like Elsa, she's forced to conceal, don't feel.
So let's talk about what's the first picture on the stereos.
There's this song called Rats Have Died. Another Vocaloid song. It's a really fast song, so I can't remember the exact lyrics. But basically it's like a song assessing society. And I don't know, it's hard to explain, as a lot of Vocaloid songs are. But basically what I wanted to get across with this picture was how Kana is not a rat. She is above the rats. As you can see, the rats are colored very suspiciously like her aunts and uncles, with the brown rat representing Hajime being by her side. And so the AIs are the cats. And so she's looking down at them, curious of what to think.
So the cats are Junko and Chaki?
Yeah. So Chiaki's very wary and Junko's like, oh, I can't wait to eat some rats tonight.
So who's the rat with the avatar head?
Gundam.
Okay, it's so I recognized that from the Avatar series.
Nice.
And who are the crows or the birds?
It's just I just used a lot of aesthetic references to the Vocaloid music video, Rats Have Died.
Oh.
And the other 2 pictures are from Frozen?
Yeah. So it's because she has some similarities to Elsa in that she has all this power, but if she's not careful, then the darker side of it will come out. So like, because Chiaki and Junko were both so intelligent and were both AIs, they had immense talent and ability, but they used it for different reasons. So most people are trying to coax Kana to be more like Chiaki. They put that onto her. They're like, oh, she'll be just like Chiaki, and if not, she'll be just like Junko. So don't show any signs of being Junko. Otherwise, we might have to kill you.
Oh God.
Yeah. So that
So-
terrifies her.
So would her aunt and uncles really want to kill her, or what? They love her?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
I don't understand why they'd want to kill a child, even if she did show signs of being like her other mom. You know.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't kill her, but they would be very suspicious of her, which she would notice. And that's another thing about my poor, sweet little Kana, is her need to be loved. Like, because when you're a child, you just crave love and attention. But Kana especially is so lost and confused in the world, she has nobody to relate to. I guess maybe alter ego in a way. But her her anchor to this world, her safety blanket, are her parents. So like, depending on the universe, she relies heavily on her parents, whether it's Junko, Chiaki, or Hajime. Depending on the universe, she depends on them greatly to survive. She doesn't want to be apart from her parents at all. If you try to separate her from her parents, bad things will happen.
So does
Because
she?
she has the power to make bad things happen.
Speaking of her parents, does she love both her moms equally, or does she like?
She loves both her moms equally in universes where they both exist.
Because I remember you mentioned in the one universe she didn't know Junko was her mom for a long time.
Yes, so in Despair Automata universe, Junko raised her, but then abandoned her one day out of the blue, which she mistook for Junko was killed by the enemy. So she had deep resentment towards the enemy. And then Chiaki comes working alongside the enemy and completely ignores her and does not care for her one bit, because Kana is a painful reminder of Chiaki's past. And Kana goes completely crazy. The girl needs a hug from her parents really badly. That's all she wants in this world. She's a child. She has simple goals in life.
So how does Hajime feel about her in Despair Automata?
Hajime's dead in Despair Automata.
Okay, then never mind then. And what about the snakes in picture 3?
Yeah. Another reference to a song I listen to a lot. A lot of like drabbles and pictures I make are inspired by songs. This one's called Love Me, Love Me, Love Me. So it's like about a person who's begging to be loved and will do anything to be loved. And so they mention like, far away, distantly, locked in my memory, I came upon a color. It's people I need, those people I need. Oh, this is what the crazy color could scream. Please don't be mad at me, please don't abandon me, please never promise me you'll never stay. Pull it around your neck until your stomach's upset, your vision blurs and you'll see friends no more. And
Wait.
so the Yeah.
What? I'm sorry, I had to mute because my mom came in and I just come back to you singing. What?
Yeah, I was mentioning how the picture on the far right is a reference to a song I listened to called Love Me, Love Me, Love Me.
Oh.
And so it brings home Kana's desperation to be loved. So there's a lot of pressure on Kana to behave a certain way in order to be loved. So like she knows that if she acts more on her despair instincts, then people will distance themselves from her and they'll be suspicious. And one of her greatest fears is that if people think that she's going to end up like Junko, they will separate her from Hajime.
The first picture sort of creeps me out. That Junko smile just, I don't know, just feels like creepy to me.
Oh yeah, that song, that picture, I was listening to a song called Useless Child. You are a useless child, useless child. Yeah,
You listen to some dark songs. What the heck?
I know. I have a whole playlist for Kana. It's 98 videos of music. And oh wait, if you go back. Go back. Jivalea knows what the middle picture's from.
Oh yeah.
Fun fact, remember that part where Chiaki pressed her forehead against Kana's forehead and is like, I'm here?
Yeah.
She learned that from Chisa.
Oh, Chisa did that? Okay.
Well, no, because like that's what happened to the original Chiaki when she tried to escape. She's just like, oh no, it's okay. I'm here. Don't you
Oh,
worry.
I thought you meant the
Just
forehead thing.
Yeah, that's what I meant, the forehead
Oh,
thing.
okay.
And then Chisa did it again with AI Chiaki after AI Chiaki got her first kill.
Oh, God. No.
Cycle of abuse, man.
Chisa, why? Oh my God.
She's messed up. She's very
Yeah.
messed up. Okay, relationship. So moving past all of that manipulation and desperation to be loved, here's a cute picture of Kana playing with Hajime.
Why are they cats?
I've listened to this one song called It's a Great Feline's Life. And so I thought it was a perfect Junko Nami song, so I drew Junko and Chiaki as cats. And I was like, oh, I should draw Kana as a kitten. And then I'm like, oh, but Kana shouldn't be alone. She should get to play with Hajime because I need more Hajime and Kana fan art in my life.
Yeah.
You know, because like Hajime is a nice Tom that plays with a little kitten. He's just so sweet. They're so good. So pure. Next slide. So Hajime, her papa.
So why does she consider Hajime her papa?
What?
So why is he?
Well, so I recently wrote a travel called Here Before, which details Kana's Kana's beginning. As she's wandering through the monotone Neo World program. She's so lost and confused. And so the first person she ever met that talked to her and was colorful was Hajime. So I think that deep down, Chiaki was able to tell Kana to trust Hajime, but then also Junko agreed that Kana should latch on to Hajime for survival because she knows that Hajime is deeply attached to anything that's related to Chiaki. Therefore, it's in Junko's best interest to keep her offspring alive that Kana attaches herself to Hajime, who would not kill her because she's deeply connected to Chiaki.
Oh, that's diabolical.
I know. It gets worse in my Bloodstained Melody AU. So, yeah. So, again, songs that made me think of drawing. I remember when I was drawing the picture on the right, I just wanted to draw all these cute little things of Hajime and Kana interacting. And I kept listening to the song Dear Theodosia from Hamilton.
The picture on up top real fast can't be two things. First, it's a picture of her tucking him in the bed, her in the bed, right?
Yes.
For a second, I thought it was him looking at a computer screen. Her sitting on a computer.
I thought it was him looking out a window for a second.
Yeah, a second computer screen or window, like looking there for a second. Either way, like like talking to the computer screen, like hi, it's kind of.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, no. That picture was like one of my earlier fan arts that I drew, but because it's so relevant to the topic, I just added it in. And then the reason there are wolves on the one is, I mean, have either of you guys seen Balto?
Yeah, when I was really young. Yeah.
Yeah. So they had a sequel to Balto, Wolf Quest, and in it, Balto has a daughter who's a wolf dog, who looks more wolf than dog. So I was watching it for my birthday because that movie affected me, man. Took me on a spiritual journey. So the interactions between Balto and his daughter also influenced how I wrote Hajime and Kana. Also, they're wolves. They're just so cute. Next one.
Oh, at the castle. Is that sandcastle?
Yeah. Kana's really good at making sand castles.
Well,
Makes you wonder who she got it from. So, unfortunately, because Kana loves her papa so much, she is absolutely terrified of Izuru.
Well, because it's her dad and it's not her dad at the same time, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So she is smart enough to know that when Izuru appears, her papa disappears. So because she's so connected and attached to Hajime and doesn't want to be separated from him at all, it makes sense that Izuru is one of the greatest threats to her relationship with her father.
I never said this before. Is Izuru taller than Hajime?
No, there's
no. It's the hair. The hair makes him look taller.
Okay, so I was wondering, like, I know his hair grew out. Did the project make him grow too or something?
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna talk more about Izuru.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. So Izuru, vice versa, is very fascinated by Kana's existence because she is literally the physical embodiment of both hope and despair. And it's always interesting watching a child grow up and trying to predict what they will do with their lives, especially if that child is an AI who grows abnormally and differently from a human being. So Izuru wants to study Kana, and Kana is like, "You're not my dad! You're not my dad!"
Aww.
Yeah, she's terrified of Izuru. She has nightmares about Izuru.
Oh no.
He is the boogeyman under her bed.
I bet Hajime would feel horrible if he knew.
Yeah.
Can Hajime control when Izuru appears or not?
Yeah, most of the time, but there are sometimes Izuru's like, I'm just gonna slip in, mess with your brain so you forget, and I'll just talk to Kana, and if she tries to bring it up, but she won't, because she doesn't want you to know that I can control you, and she is so terrified of me, she will do whatever.
So Izuru couldn't pretend to be Hajime in front of her, or what? Or she would recognize him?
Oh no, she would instantly know. She instantly knows. Similar to how, like, Chiaki recognized Izuru was Hajime, Kana would know right away who is who. She could tell if Izuru was faking to be her papa. She loves her papa that much. And she doesn't want anything bad to happen to him.
Aw.
So then there's Nagito.
Oh boy. Crazy
So,
uncle.
yeah. Well, suspicious uncle, because in the past, Nagito was responsible for her mom dying.
What?
Yeah, AI Chiaki in the
Oh,
Basic
AI
trial.
Chia, yeah.
So in a way, Kana has that kind of a what's it called? Physical memory, muscle memory, or something like that. Because it was such a traumatic experience, she kind of just has this instinct that Nagito did something bad in the past. She's not sure what, but it's startling to her. She's not as afraid of him as she is of Izuru, but she's still suspicious of him. Like, if they're in a room together, she'll like stand a few yards away from him. But if she's in a room with Izuru, she will do whatever she can to get out of the room. But, honestly, in reality, even though Kana is super suspicious of him, Nagito's actually chilled out a whole lot. And he's actually
Yeah,
a
he
really
has.
nice uncle. He's like done with the whole hope and despair. Although sometimes he does make a little remark about like, oh,
His
isn't
meds.
Kana...
He just had to take meds, that's it.
So,
Yeah.
so,
He
so,
kind
is,
of-
so, is, so is, he doesn't consider Kana a stepping stone then?
Far from it. Like, he sees Kana as like the potential savior of humanity, but he keeps that to himself. He's like, I'm happy that she's playing with Hajime and she's happy, so I won't force my ideologies onto this child because she's a literal child.
What is this universe where does she live on Jabberwock Island with all of them? Like what?
Well, in the main timeline, as I call it, they're constantly on the run from Future Foundation because they got blamed for the Future Foundation killing game. So technically, they're on a boat.
So, and she's a computer. She's on the laptop on the boat with them.
Yeah, like Hajime created a unique version of the Neo World program. It's different, so like he reworked it. It's kind of like that little Neo. It's kind of like that little what you call it, gotcha pet or something. The little app where you raise the little baby Monami.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like that, but then it's mixed in with the Neo World program. So we like took a lot of assets from that and created a different program for Kana to live in. And so inside it, she has the ability to create anything that her heart desires. And so she likes to create all these different environments because it is against the law for Hajime to take her out of the program since it's such a liability, since she's related to Junko. It's either that or kill Kana outright, which
No.
Makoto, being the head of Future Foundation, would never allow because he has good experiences with AIs.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, listen, you can keep Kana, even though she's related to Junko. You can keep Kana, but on the condition that she has to stay inside the program. She can never leave the program at all.
Yeah, I still say this, even though she manipulated, like you said before, but I still think personally, if Hajime wanted to, he could bring her out, and Makoto wouldn't really care. Like Makoto would give her a chance too. Like, oh, okay, she's out. Let's give her a chance. Because
but Kirigiri wouldn't.
Makoto's
Or
like,
Byakuya.
yeah, Kirigiri probably wouldn't. Makoto's like, okay. Makoto's like, sure, whatever. It's like he's all like, whatever, and like, yeah, he's like, she's out now. What are we gonna do?
As much as Kana would love that, it just isn't going to happen. Not even in the ultimate timeline. Okay, next one. So this is all of her other aunts and uncles. She considers the class 7-7 to be her aunts and uncles. And so I just made a list of her favorite to least favorite.
Okay, so talk about each one. What's their interaction with Sonya then?
Oh, she absolutely loves Sonya because, one, Sonya's super nice and awesome, but also Sonya's into a lot of dark stuff, just like Kana is, like serial killers and horror movies. So it's like the best of both worlds.
Oh, yeah.
And then second, she
They're
loves
really
Gundam.
similar, actually.
Yeah. And then she loves Gundam because Gundam knows all these facts about animals and kind of loves animals.
Okay. First of all, what's Sonya's interaction with her?
In her debut travel, Sonya likes to tell Kana horror stories before bed. And Kana loves it. You know? Sonya's like her number one aunt, like her godmother. She loves Sonya so much. She loves to play with her.
Okay, what's Gundam's interaction with her?
He usually tags along with Sonya. They like go together, but then other times he'll like show Kana some animals, let her play with the devas. And Kana gets to learn about animals, and she loves animals so much because they're both cute and deadly.
Okay, what's her interactions with Mikan?
Oh, she loves Mikan too, because Mikan knows so much about the human body, which Kana does not have. So she's always curious to hear about blood and organs, which Mikan knows so much about. And also, it could also...
Mikan's also very motherly.
Yeah.
So...
Well, and it also could be residual feelings left behind from Junko, from when Junko abused Mikan. But...
Oh...
I know, it's sad.
What's Mikan's interaction with Kana?
Well, Mikan is initially scared of Kana because she's related to Mikan's abuser. But then she looks more towards her other side, Chiaki's side, and I'm pretty sure Mikan would have a crush on Chiaki.
Yeah, does Mikan does she feel guilty about what she did to real Chalky, about pushing her through that wall and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the next one, Nekomaru?
Oh, she loves Nekomaru. He's like a big old polar bear. She loves him so much. She loves to climb on his back and play with him and like run around because she's so energetic. Like, Chipotle approved it. He's like the best with kids.
He probably is. He's like a dad, so.
Yeah, exactly.
And how does he feel about her?
He loves her. He's like, you're just such a strong, good kid.
That's so pure.
So do they just talk to her on the computer screen, or do they go inside the Neo program to play with her too?
They go inside the program to play with her.
Okay. Next is Maru.
Yeah, she really loves Mahiru because Mahiru is one of the motherliest out of class 77. And I did toss out around the idea that maybe Mahiru would go on to marry Hajime and be Kana's new mom, but then I was like, nah. Single dad for life.
Yeah.
And how does Maru feel about her?
She thinks Kana is sweet. I mean, if she put up with Hiyoko, she can definitely put up with Kana.
Next, Akane.
Oh, Kana loves to play with Akane. Although, Kana sees Akane more as an older sister rather than a mom, so that's why she's a bit lower on the list.
Yeah.
I would have put her higher, but, if you give off parently energy in front of Kana, Kana's gonna like you more. because she's so desperate for that.
Do
She
they?
seems she hates Teru apparently.
Well, because like most people, the reason they like Teru is because he makes food, but Kana's an AI, so she could care less about food.
Can't she eat AI food?
I mean, she could, but she just doesn't care.
I thought maybe they program her to get hungry like they did in the Neo program, like how to make pie program. Okay, here's some food for you.
No, she's like how Chiaki was. Like, she gets a little glint in her eye, and then she's like, "It's okay."
Do they fight? Do they fight Akane and Kana like play fight?
No, Akane does not want to teach Kana how to fight.
Yeah, Akane doesn't fight kids.
Yeah, no. Rather, it'd be more like Kana would chase Akane around, kind of like a lioness playing with the little lion cub. You know, that kind of thing. Like Akane would give Kana piggyback rides and let Kana groom her. Because, good lord, Akane needs a brush through that hair.
Yeah.
Okay, then there's the imposter interactions.
Yeah, so the imposter knows a lot about identity. So when Kana is like sad about her identity, the imposter is like, "Be you, kid. Be you."
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
How does he appear to her in his real form, or in meteorite form, in his Tagami form?
I guess Tagami form. I don't know.
I thought with them he'd be more at ease, so he'd just be his self.
Yeah,
normal.
probably. Yeah.
So, does he ever like? Do you think does he like put on different costumes to cheer her up, whatever, or like to play with her?
Yeah. He's really good at cheering her up. He's a really good listener.
Okay, what about Peko?
She thinks Peko is really cool, but
Pekko's a little cold.
Yeah, like Peko doesn't really know. Peko doesn't have a whole lot of experience with huge displays of affection, so
Yeah,
she's a bit
we're
taken
children.
back by how much Kana loves and respects her.
Does Peko consider herself a tool for Kana, like she did with Yumiko?
No. She's like, "This is my niece. I cannot allow her to die." Because that's what I'm good at in this life, is protecting others and making sure they stay alive.
That's sad. Oh my god.
Well, she gets better. Like, Kana can help her get out of her shell. And, like, they could play dolls. Kana would share her stuffed animal collection.
Yeah.
Kana has so many stuffed animals.
I bet she does.
Yeah. She's more of a stuffed animal person than a doll person. She would have a stuffed animal of an eye.
Oh, see, like, because she gets that. I guess that's her Peko like furry things.
Mm-hmm. And then Kana would be like, Aunt Peko, if you think that was fluffy, you should pet Mr. Tarantula. He's really fluffy.
So, so Peko Pie doesn't teach her how to use a sword then, or does she?
She would try, and the others would be a little skeptical of teaching a child to play with a sword.
Okay, what's your interaction with Uncle Fuyuhiko?
He's nice. He makes sure that she goes to bed on time, even though she is the enemy of sleep. Unless Hajime is there. Like, Kana is a perfect angel for Hajime. She will do whatever he wants. She's just perfect. But when it comes to her aunts and uncles, she gets a lot more leeway, and she does not care as much.
Dang.
It's just how it is, you know? Like, if
So-
you're babysitting somebody's kids, they're not going to go to sleep until their parents are home.
Of course, Fuko's probably more of a rule follower. He always rule follows. He's probably the more stricter one of the aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's lower on the list.
It's like he's like, Aunt Sonia, can I go play? Like, sure. Like, Fuko, like, no, it's bedtime.
I'm an AI. I don't need sleep.
like,
But we need sleep.
but like, he'd be like, if your father was, if you be like, no, your father's gonna get mad if you at us if you don't make you to go to bed.
Yeah, then she'd be like, mm. Yeah.
Okay,
then
then
there's Kazu.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure,
Then there's Kazuichi. Since he's into machines, she owes a bit of her lifestyle to him, so she's thankful for that. But she doesn't really find him too interesting.
Does he teach her anything?
Yeah, it teaches her how to build stuff, but then she's like, why do I need to know the inner workings of a rocket ship when I can just draw it and boom, there.
Yeah. I don't know. I would think Ibuki would be higher than Katsuichi, but you have her lower.
Well, Ibuki's really loud. And Kana does not really like that.
So she don't kind of. So this Ibuki try to
Well,
teach.
Ibuki's loud, but Nekomaru is louder. So how is he high on the list, but she's not?
Well, because, like, Nekomaru translates that energy into play. Well, I guess Ibuki does that too. I don't know. Kana's not really a music kind of girl.
So kind of wouldn't play music with Ibuki or something like that. Like.
I mean, she could, but she'd rather just sit and draw.
Oh.
And you know, Ibuki can be very enthusiastic when she wants something.
Yeah, I mean, she's not motherly at all either, so she's more like a
just
sister.
another kid.
Yeah.
So she's like a sister, like Akane is, than a mother or aunt.
Yeah.
I'd say Akane is more motherly than Ibuki, though. So Ibuki's just, like,
Yeah, exactly.
insane.
Yeah, Akane's like a teen mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's her ex with Hiyoko.
Hiyoko probably doesn't like her that much.
Yeah, she's like, listen here. Before you came along, I was the cutest one here.
Does Hiyoko like Akane? I mean, Kana, or is he like? How does he feel about Kana?
Well, I mean, Mahiru dotes on Kana a lot, so Hiyoko's a little jealous.
Oh.
But probably doesn't hate her at all. Probably doesn't hate her. She probably
no.
I think she's secretly. I think at least in my headcanon, probably maybe wrong or not. Hiyoko probably really loves Kana, but she doesn't like showing it that much. Like,
Yeah,
Well, she's a tsundere, so.
if they were alone, you know, they like she take care of him. Like, okay, whatever. But like in public, like, no, whatever.
Yep. And then Tara is at the bottom.
Yeah, does Hiyoko think Hiyoko would try to teach Kana how to dance?
Yeah. And then Kana's like, nah, this is boring. I'm gonna draw.
Yeah, but Hiyoko was pissed at that.
Draw like how about I draw you? How about I draw you dancing? Like okay.
Yeah, she'd find a workaround, but then she'd, in the back of her mind, she'd be like, I'd rather draw insects.
Like
insects?
Man, that would be a huge contention point. Hiyoko squishing ants, because Kana loves insects. That's why
incest?
No, insects! Insects!
Oh my god!
She's a child!
I thought you said incest. I was so freaked out.
No, she's a child. She doesn't even know. She doesn't even
I know. That's why I was so freaked out.
Yeah.
what-
No, she loves insects because most people consider insects to be creepy crawlies, but she finds them adorable.
So what about Meteorite?
Meteorite is terrified of her.
Yeah.
Given his past experience with Junko and how she tricked him, like,
Yeah, I
he's
doubt
just,
he'd want to hang out with her.
yeah.
And also,
I mean,
he's not very. He probably wouldn't be good with kids because
yeah.
he's not good at taking care of himself.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought maybe they get along because they both like drawing.
Well, maybe.
Well, yeah. Yeah, like, so if he comes to visit Kana alongside the imposter, like, he can't go by himself. He does not trust Kana. So the imposter has to back him up. And so they'll watch Miyazaki films together, and Kana really likes it.
No.
But then when, like, she goes to hug Hajime, when she goes to hug Ryota, he sort of, like, tenses up. He's like, ooh.
Understandable. Junko's terrifying. So.
Yeah, so he's just, out of all the aunts and uncles, Kana knows that he likes her the least.
So Nagito would be 14 on this list then?
Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to add where Nagito is. I think he would be squarely in the middle.
Like between Imposter and Peko?
Well, I guess maybe he'd be below Fuyuhiko.
So he'd be number 10. So he'd be number 11 then.
Yeah. Grandmother Chisa! Even though they haven't really
Grandma.
met. Yeah. Chisa would absolutely love Kana. She wouldn't even care if Kana is related to Junko. She would just see Kana as this adorable little child who is really in need of some love and guidance. And you know how Chisa is. Her mother instincts are very strong.
Okay,
She's a grandmother.
how would both the difference between both Despair Mom Chisa and Hope Mom?
You'll see. So this is Hope Mom. So she'd be like the grandma from Red Riding Hood. You know how, like, she makes Red Riding Hood her Red Riding Hood, and like they would bake together, clean the house together, and like Kana would absolutely love her grandmother, almost more than like all of her aunts and uncles, cause like
Oh.
well, just cause like Kana believes the closer you are blood related, the more someone will love you. So like if she believes that Chisa is Chiaki or Hajime's mom, then by their lineage, Chisa has to love her granddaughter.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it's like all about the interconnectedness of family, like who is more biologically related or has a closer relationship. And so, yeah, I just think Chisa would be such an amazing grandmother. She wouldn't even mind being called a grandmother. She would love it, in fact. Even though it kind of makes her sound old, she wouldn't care. She loves her granddaughter. She'd play with her. She'd make her little outfits, make her food, just be the best grandmother possible. And the fun things about grandmothers is they are far less lenient. I mean, they are less lenient. No. Yeah, they're very lenient. Like when you go to your grandma's house and like they let you stay up later and they give you all these sweets and stuff. But like the parents are like, no, they're supposed to be in bed at this time. Chisa would be like, "Oh, come on, she's just a kid. We're having fun." Yeah, Kana would absolutely love Chisa.
Oh. You should draw fan art of
Yeah,
them.
I should. So on the other paw, there's Despair Chisa, who has slightly different feelings towards Kana. She both really loves Kana and really hates Kana at once. Because she really loves Chiaki and she really hates Junko.
So does she consider Kana like an innocent, like to kill her to protect her?
Oh.
Because you said she kills innocents to protect them from despair.
Yeah. Actually, no. She thinks Kana is the perfect, strong innocence. Like, she learns to love Kana for the reason that Kana can kill so many people and survive in the world and still retain her childlike innocence. So that's why I was bringing up how, if you haven't read Bloodstained Melody, I think it's chapter 4, is when they interact, and it goes into their relationship. So what would end up happening is, I think if Despair Chisa ever met Kana, she would kind of brainwash Kana in a similar fashion to how Chisa brainwashed Aesop in Despair Automata. Like, showering her with love and affection.
I see.
While also distancing the child from the outside world and people she deems a threat. So it would be like the she-wolf would train the young wolf.
Oh.
She would train Kana to be a killing machine. Because Kana can be a killing machine. Because if she's like out of the program and given an android body, she could very easily be trained to kill with no remorse, deadly accuracy, and an absolute fascination for what the insides of a human being looks like.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's why I highly recommend. Like, you can skip the other chapters of Bloodstained Melody, because, I mean, they're not groundbreaking. Honestly, because, like, although I really...
Wait, I'm sorry, you roboted. Like, you became a robot. Like...
Oh, sorry. What I was talking about is Bloodstained Melody. Is, if you want to know how Despair Chisa and Kana would act like around each other, then I highly recommend Bloodstained Melody. It was a lot of fun to write that chapter. On to Kana's moms. So, fun fact, the residual AI of Chiaki and Junko exists and can interact with Kana in her dreams sometimes. Kind of like a full moon sort of thing. So a lot of times, while Kana is sleeping and dreaming, Chiaki protects her from Junko. Like, giving Kana sweet dreams instead of nightmares.
So, does she like both her moms equally, or for one over the other one?
She would love her moms equally, although in the main timeline, she hates Junko because Junko ruined her life.
All these people have problems.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Here's some sweet little pictures of Kana. I meant to put the...
Oh, look how happy.
Yeah. I meant to add the left picture to my Chisa slideshow, but I forgot about it. So, because one time I got Ultra Sun, and this was my Pokemon team. I named them. So I had Munakata the Lycanroc, Kibo the Umbreon, Shuichi the Rufflet, Kaide the Noibat, and Chisa as God. What is the final evolution of the seal called? And then Kana as an
Primarina?
yeah, Primarina, and then Kana as little baby Espeon.
So who's the middle guy again?
Shuichi. Because they both have an Ahoge, and they're
Okay.
just cute little bird boys.
I recognized Kibo right away. And kind of was the baby up there. So that's Munakata.
Yeah. So it was like a found family situation.
So you talked real fast. We talked about her and uncles. What does Makoto feel about Kana? Does he like her or not?
He thinks that she has a lot of potential.
Oh, Makoto. I think it's impossible for Makoto to hate someone.
Yeah, especially a child.
Yeah.
I mean, given that his life was saved by an AI, he has a respect for them. So he would just be like, "Oh, nice to meet you, Kana." And Kana would be like, "Hi."
Does Kana like him or not like him? Because he kind of responsible when his mom's dying. Her mom's.
No, she doesn't know about that. She likes Makoto.
Oh. I thought maybe AI Jigo would tell her like, "Oh, this guy killed me."
No, I think because Makoto killed Juko, she loves him.
Okay, since I was universe stuff, but since the pictures, what does he think about the V3 class? Since they're this picture's in the same universe.
So it's funny because in Despair Automata she interacts with Kibo and they have a wonderful, I say that sarcastically, relationship in Despair Automata. You remember Jimbalea?
Well, it gets better at the end, though.
Yeah.
It gets better at the end.
Personally,
Yeah, it does.
If I had to pick, I think her least favorite would probably be. I think her least favorite of that group would probably be what's his name?
Korakyu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, but he's into dark stuff just like she is.
Yeah,
I know
true.
dark stuff, but he'd be like, hey, Kana, want to be friends with my sister? She's like, no, go away.
Yeah.
You
I
think?
don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
Well, I'm thinking it now.
He doesn't really talk about his sister, though.
Yeah, he keeps it on the down low. But in this found family AU, Kana's the baby of the group, so she's treated like the little princess. Like Munakata will scold the other kids, but he will not scold Kana because she is the precious little baby who gets to get away with everything.
So her papa and mama, Hajime and Chaki, aren't part of this universe?
Yeah, because Kana is abandoned as an egg.
And is this
No
other?
matter
Wow,
what
that laugh.
whatever universe you put Kana in, there's just got to be just a teeny bit of trauma in there. Being Kana is
Aw.
suffering.
Poor baby.
I know, she has so many problems. But that's what makes her interesting instead of an OP
Yeah.
OC. You know?
Those are the worst.
Yeah, exactly. So, I wanted to do my absolute best to make Kana interesting. So, flaws make you interesting.
You succeeded, my friend.
And then I also drew on the right there is Kana as Rosalina from Mario Galaxy.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, like that from Mario.
That fits her a lot because Rosalina was separated from her family as well.
Yeah. Well, and also, she looks cuter as Rosalina than as Bowser Jr.
Oh,
Because in that universe, Junko would be Bowser and Chiaki would be Peach.
oh.
Yeah, so going on to my AUs, because I have a lot of AUs with Kana. So this one I created over the summer is my Kitsune AU, wherein Junko and Chiaki are ancient kitsunes who give birth to Kana, but then what happens is Junko goes off one day to go hunting, and then Chiaki, looking for shelter, winds up at an old kitsune shrine run by Hajime. And so she keeps Kana a secret because kitsunes are masters of illusion. And then Chiaki, who's never known love, even though she was with Junko, technically it was out of necessity because their species was dying. And so that's why she mated with Junko. But then,
How would that work, though? They're both girls.
well, actually, this is one of the few times where it actually would work because kitsunes can change their gender at will.
Oh, I see.
And if you are curious, it was Chiaki who carried.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's just weird. What
Yeah.
the heck?
Well, it gets weirder because can you go back, please?
Oh.
It gets weirder because there's a lot of other yokai characters that show up. Like Ishimaru is a kappa because kappas follow the rules a lot. Like you can actually kill them with politeness. Because if you
Wait,
bow
what?
to,
I thought
yeah.
kappas drag children into the water and eat them.
Well, yeah, they do that too. But the way to defeat a kappa is they have this water dish on their head. And so if you bow to them, they have to bow back. They're very polite in that way. And then because they bow down, all of the water falls out of their head and they dry up.
Oh, dang.
They also have a rivalry with otters. And
why?
because they kind of have similar terrain. I don't know. It's some sort of ancient mythology. But the otter would be Mondo in this situation.
Oh,
I know.
cute.
I have so many cute yokai ideas. So so then Hajime, being the shrine leader, he cleans the shrine, and so Kana is a little shrine priestess. But then one day Nagito, who is also a kitsune, comes and visits the shrine, and so he actually knew Chiaki, but he didn't have the self-esteem to say hello to Chiaki, even though he knew the situation between her and Junko was bad. So as sort of an apology, he takes it upon himself to help Kana and sort of help raise her. And so it actually works out.
That's cute.
It actually works out a lot for the shrine because he's really good at cleaning, and also because kitsunes can change their gender at any time, Nagito transforms into a shrine priestess alongside Kana to bring in business. Also, Mikan is a tanuki.
She's a what? Sorry, you're
Tanuki. It's
you're
that furry,
roboting again.
It's the furry thing from Mario Brothers 3.
No, I know what a tanuki is. No, I know what it is. It's just that it was blanking out. But I thought tanukis were kind of greedy and I don't know.
Yeah, I just wrote this one Drabble series where Mikan was a tanuki, and I just thought it stuck.
Yeah, maybe.
I just imagining Mikan as this cute little raccoon dog.
Yeah.
With a little tanuki tail. And then also there's Kokichi and Monica, our little bakenekos. They're like cats with two tails that have very similar powers to kitsunes. So Kana likes to play with Kokichi and Monica. And so Monica and Kokichi aren't related by blood, but Kokichi actually saved Monica from her abusive older brother.
Oh.
Yeah, so Monica respects Kokichi, and they like to play pranks on the villagers together. And then there would be Izuru, who in this AU is an Inugami. It's basically a demon dog.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's really scary, but he helps to teach Kana to curb her bloodlust nature.
I thought she's terrified of him.
In this version, she's not, because Izuru is completely separate from Hajime.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's it for the Kitsune AU.
Is this
Then there's the...
is this from
Yeah,
her
you go.
Aunt Mukuro?
Nope. Basically, what ends up happening is one day the Future Foundation catches the remnants, and they're at gunpoint, and they're like, "We're going to kill you." But then Kana, in a desperate plea to save her family, is like, "Please spare them. I'm the one you want. I will do whatever you want to make up for what my mom did." And so she basically becomes a child soldier. And it's worse because she's a robot, therefore people can objectify her and not consider her a person. Also, she has a stuffed animal called Kitsune that Hajime made for her, which basically is Usami, but a bit more mischievous. And so...
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of what's its face? From Despair Automata.
Aesop?
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of is. Kitsune is kind of like one of those baby toys you'd see, that teaches you numbers, but then also makes little witty comments. And so basically Hajime tried to send Kitsune to Kana as a way to cheer her up, but being the military, once they found out Kana had a toy, they took it from her, and they're like, "Hey, this thing is alive. We should rework it. This is a strong AI here. We should rework it into a weapon."
No.
So they took her beloved toy and made it a killing machine. That's what the giant fox is.
Oh.
They took away Kitsune's ability to speak. And also, that little paper that she's holding and looking at and crying is a picture of Hajime that she keeps with her.
Don't you think...
It's a really sad AU.
I still think if you want to, Izuru could break out and Hajime's Hajime could use his Izuru powers to rescue Kana.
I mean, he could, but no, that just doesn't happen because Kana makes it absolutely clear she does not want to be rescued. She wants to do this. She wants to atone for all of her mother's crimes and make the world a better place, because if she does that, then the Future Foundation will leave her family alone. They'll no longer be considered criminals. But that's only until she gets the job done.
She thinks so. If Makoto, I have so many of my own. Right now, this is giving me so many of my own alternate story ideas from this right now.
Hey, feel free. My Bloodstained Melody AU. I love this AU so much. It's just hard to write because I'm stuck in a single perspective, and it's always changing. But basically...
What is it?
So, Vandalia, you mentioned before if Hajime wanted to, he could break the rule and take Kana out of the system.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening in this one is somehow Junko is able to lay a mental virus inside Kana so that whoever she interacts with, she'll pass the mental virus onto. So like from the moment she hugged Hajime, he was infected. And so it's like a despair disease. And so what ends up happening is it degrades Hajime's mind in a way that he is obsessed with completing his family and protecting his family. He has no concern for anybody outside of his family, similar to Kana. And what ends up happening is the others know that something is up with Hajime when he's interacting with Kana, so they're like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be around Kana anymore. Maybe you need to take a break. And then Hajime's like, maybe you need to take a break from reality. And then he forces them all to sleep and puts them all in their own personal Neo World programs, replaying their greatest memories. And he's like, okay, listen, Kana, your aunts and uncles tried to throw a coup on us, but that's okay. They were just confused. So once we get rid of Future Foundation, we will be fine. We'll no longer be fugitives. We'll no longer be blamed. And we can all be a happy family. Plus, if you kill everybody in the Future Foundation, then your mom will come back. Trust
Oh
me.
my god. So
I'm your
Hajime is just
papa.
freaking crazy.
Yeah, he's a mad scientist,
Oh my god.
as you can tell from the lab coat. And he's obsessed with bringing Chiaki back. So his plan is to train Kana to kill people, because the real Chiaki would never want to kill people. So his theory is that the more things Kana does that would shock and horrify Chiaki, the more Chiaki's essence will come together in retaliation. Kind of like a tumor inside Kana's mind. And so it causes some side effects, like the more Kana kills the Future Foundation, the more she gets headaches. She starts seeing things, like she sees her mom in real life a bit, but she can't hear or understand her. Like whenever Chiaki tries to talk to Kana, it's all garbled, like a robotic machine.
Oh.
And so that's Hajime's plan, is to create this tumor inside Kana's mind. And once Kana is done, it'll be big enough for him to remove and hopefully bring the real Chiaki back. And they can be a perfect happy family together. And bonus, Chisa will be there, because he planned from the beginning to spare Chisa from the slaughter. Then Chisa, being the kind she-wolf that she is, learns to turn the situation around to suit her own desires. So everybody is just manipulating this poor child into killing everybody.
Oh my god.
We can't have despair without hope, and we can't have hope without despair. Exactly, Eddie. Also, the reason Kana is dressed up as a fox is because it is her killing attire. So, like, the ears give her super hearing. She has claws. She can actually adjust her android body so that she can run on all fours. Her tail is equipped with bombs inside of it. So, if anybody cuts off her tail into 3 segments, they'll explode. So, it may look cute, but it's very deadly. And so Hajime was like, one day he's like, okay, I'm gonna make you this suit. What animal do you want? And of course, Kana's like, I want a fox. Can it be a red fox? And he's like, red fox won't be so good for camouflage. How about a black fox? And she's like, okay, I love you, Papa. You're the absolute best in the world. And if anything happened to you, I would literally kill everybody because I have no concern for human life. Unless it's my
What?
family.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like, first person she kills is Munakata. Just rips his heart out, swallows it
No.
whole, right in
Oh
front
my
of
God.
Chisa.
So the first picture is chalky glass of her is Junko glass.
Chiaki glass.
The real chalky glass.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were by Junko eyes.
No, Junko doesn't need to be awake. She is perfectly content to let Kana go forward. Also, the reason Kana is wearing her little green bandana is it was a gift from her papa. She's like, I'm scared. I don't want to go without you. And so Hajime's like, here, if you wear this, then I will be with you in spirit. So you can imagine if any back.
Ugh.
Sorry, I know. I'm sorry. I just love this AU. So you can imagine if anybody dares try to remove her scarf, she will kill them. Yeah. Feel free to read Bloodstained Melody after this. It's fun. I will admit, it does get very, very gory. Like, oh man. So Hajime told Kana what Juzo did to him back at Hope's Peak. Oh boy, you know Kana was very angry about that.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Like you beat up my.
I gotta update it because the next person on the chopping block is Ryota. Okay, I'm done.
Ryota chopping block. Like for what
Yeah,
he
he's
did.
the next person who's gonna die.
Oh.
No.
It's a killing
oh my
game.
God.
Everybody's gonna die except Chisa. That's just a fact.
Why Chisa?
Because Chisa has convinced Kana that she's her grandmother. You know?
Oh,
And blood is thicker than water.
yeah.
Okay, so here's your despair.
Yeah, so Despair Automata is where Kana got the most development. So, yeah, I highly recommend, because in this one, both her moms are alive, and she's just so desperate for love. Surprisingly, Hajime isn't around. Jubilee knows why.
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well, it sucks even more because in this universe, Kana was created essentially out of the R-word. So
Yeah.
Chiaki does not want to associate with the pure symbol, the symbol of that traumatic event.
I mean, I didn't see it as sex though.
Well, yeah, no, it's not, but it's still one person forcing themselves onto another,
Oh,
entering
yeah.
the body without permission.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to be
I mean, AI Chiaki deserved better.
Oh yeah, she
God.
deserves so much better. Like, honestly, this is the most miserable I've ever written Chiaki. There's a reason it's called Despair Automata. And so, what ends up happening is when Kana meets Chiaki again, Chiaki completely ignores her and casts her aside. And Kana is just so confused because up to this point, her mama told her that Chiaki had been taken by the enemy, but was only pretending to be part of the enemy. And so once Chiaki saw her dear beloved child, she would be able to break out and be with her, you know? And so Kana grows up with a lot of fairy tales, and she has this idyllic idea inside her mind that she is going to be the knight that rescues her mom, the queen, from the dragon Hope. Organization Hope. And so like, kids have a very black and white view of the world, and that's how Kana is. But unlike a child, she has the strength to back it up and actually cause damage. She kills a lot of people in this one.
Oh God.
Yeah. Also, the reason there's a little mouse there in the corner is what happened was one day Kana found a cute little mouse with a broken leg and nursed it back to health. And she thought, oh, this is going to be so much fun. I love little animals. They're so cute. We're going to be best friends. And then one day it got out of its cage. And then when she went to go tell Junko was like, oh, this was inevitable. And Kana's like, what? And then Junko's like, well, you see, Kana, unless you are related by your AI to someone, nobody can love you. Nobody except your mothers can love you. Not even the Monokumas. Not animals. Nobody. Only your mothers can love you in this world.
Junko probably killed the mouse.
That's what she did. That's why there's little blood, because Junko killed the mouse to manipulate Kana into thinking that if anything that isn't her mother's is going to abandon her and never love her. And so this monster thing on the left is when Kana goes complete berserk mode. That's what her boss looks like. That's like what she looks like when she's completely corrupted. And so all the monsters, bosses in Despair Automata have secret names. And so Kana's boss name is Cain, reference to the first murder, wherein Cain and Abel were two sons. And gosh dang it. So what happened is Cain and Abel were two sons that both loved their parents very much, but the parents seemed to love Abel a bit more. And so Cain, out of jealousy, killed his younger brother. So in this case, Kana is Cain and Kibo is Abel.
Hey, in the private chat, can you link to both these stories? I can put them in the description.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Timberland? You sounded like you were asking something. Oh, okay.
No, I'm not really asking something, but I've got to go. My family needs me for something.
Yeah, that's okay. My voice is particularly
sorry.
dirty.
We can do
it. We can do this.
But it was fun to find out more about Kana and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. To be continued.
Right. Have a good time.
Never stop learning. Enjoy the randomness. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, also, if you want to, Patreon, please, or Amazon wish list. I need to help. Always appreciated. Bye-bye.